friends, today we are going to be learning standard long division, and this has been a long time coming. I know a lot of you have been needing a lot of help with your long division, and I can't wait to get started. So you should have joined your teacher today for your math Google Meet, and on that Google Meet, you should have made a long division bookmark. It looks something like this. On that bookmark, there was a little saying at the bottom about cheeseburgers, which might seem a little bit silly, but that sentence is supposed to help you to remember the steps for long division. Does McDonald's serve cheeseburgers daily? Helps us to hopefully remember divide, multiply, subtract, check, bring down, and do it again. So you're definitely going to want to have this division bookmark out, and that way you can keep track of the steps as you work. I'm going to have mine right alongside my notebook as I get my work done today too. You're going to need your worksheet, which is your classwork paper for today, and you're also going to need your math notebook. So let's go ahead and set up our space. If you need to pause the video, that's fine. Notebook, bookmark, and worksheet, 3 things that you need to have out. I'm going to get my materials ready to show you. Get myself out of the way a little bit here. Okay, so I have my notebook turned sideways. That's ready to go. I have my division bookmark. I'm going to use this one because those words are nice and bold. And then I have my worksheet for today. Okay. Now, you might have noticed when you got this worksheet that it's very busy. There's a lot of stuff on this paper. Might even feel a little bit confusing. The reason why we packed so much onto this worksheet is because we didn't want you to try to sneak any work in. This is an answer key. Every problem here should have an answer and an estimate, and that is it. Everything else should be done right in your math notebook. We didn't want to leave any open space for you to try to sneak it in. So I want you to start by taking this paper out, put the date on it. Okay, Tuesday, 11/10. I want you to take out your notebook, and we always give ourselves a nice heading. So in your notebook, I want you to write standard long division, just like the worksheet says. Okay, hopefully you have a nice, neat workspace, lots of room to move around, and hopefully you're ready to go. Okay, so I have this worksheet out because I do need to start with my estimate, but then I can kind of put it to the side and go right to my notebook. So we have you set up for the estimates here today because estimates with long division can be kind of tricky. So you can kind of be loose with what you want to do with your estimate. This is just a suggestion. My estimate here, I'm saying, let's pretend this is about 600 divided by 2, because that's a problem I can kind of wrap my brain around. It's not too hard for me to solve. So what do you think 600 divided by 2 is? It should be 300. So right on the worksheet, we're going to fill in 300. Now I'm going to push this worksheet off to the side, and I'm just going to copy the problem right onto my notebook. My divisor was a 2, and my dividend is 568. Notice how I was very careful to put one digit into each space. These lines in our notebook were important for multiplication. They're even more important for long division. Okay, I'm going to put my bookmark here so that I'm all ready to start. I can see all my steps, and I'm going to go ahead and get to work. So my first step is to divide. What is it that I'm dividing here? I'm starting with just that very first digit. I'm ignoring everything else. I'm seeing how many times 2 goes into 5, or what is 5 divided by 2? I know that 2 goes into 5 2 times, so I put the answer right above that 5, nice and lined up. My next step here is to multiply. I'm multiplying 2 times 2. I'm really just seeing how close I got to that 5. 2 times 2 is 4. So I put it right underneath. I'm already set up for my next step, which is to subtract. I just have to put a subtraction sign in there. And now I can subtract. I know that 5 minus 4 is 1. That brings me to this check step. I don't have to write anything for the check step. I'm just asking myself if this number is less than my divisor. If it is not less than the divisor, I have done something wrong. If this number is bigger than the divisor, then I've made a mistake somewhere up here. It's not bigger, so I feel okay. I know I'm good to go. The next step is to bring down. What is it that I'm supposed to bring down? That's right. I'm bringing down the 6, and it's exactly what it sounds like. I'm drawing an arrow, a nice straight arrow, and I'm bringing down that 6. Okay? And now I'm going to do it again. That means I'm going back to the top, and I'm back to that division step. Now I'm dividing the number that I've just created from the bring down. So now I'm doing 16 divided by 2. So I'm thinking, how many times does 2 go into 16? That's right, it goes in 8 times. That 8 goes on the top. Whenever I divide, the answer goes on the top. My next step here is to multiply. So I'm multiplying 2 times 8, and it is 16. I've got myself all set up for the next step, which is to subtract. 16 minus 16 is 0. What exactly am I checking here in this check step? I'm checking to see if 0 is less than 2. If this number here is less than my divisor. It is. So now I can go to the next step, which is to bring down. I'm bringing down this 8. Nice straight lined up notebook. There we go. Now I'm going to do it all again. I'm back up to the top to divide. I'm seeing how many times 2 goes into 8. 2 goes into 8 4 times. Next step, multiply. 4 times 2 is 8. I'm all set up for my subtraction step. This looks pretty good. 8 minus 8 is 0. So now I'm checking. Of course, 0 is less than 2. There's nothing over here for me to bring down. I don't have any more digits, so I don't have to do it again. I guess that D could stand for done. We're all set. Grab your worksheet. We're going to take a look. My estimate over here on my worksheet was 300. My answer over here in my notebook is 284. I'm just going to copy it over, 284. I feel pretty confident in my answer because it was close to my estimate. Okay, let's take a look at the next problem. I'm going to peek at the estimate over here. Now again, your estimate could have been a little bit different. We're setting you up 3,000 divided by 3. Really, you could change these numbers any way that you want. Division estimates can be tough, whatever you feel comfortable with. This is an easy one. What is 3,000 divided by 3? It should be 1,000. We're going to keep that number in our mind for when we're done. All right, the worksheet is going to go off to the side, and we're going to set that problem up in our notebook. So I'm going to go ahead. The divisor here is a 3. Nice and neat, nice big numbers here. My dividend is 2,961. I'm going to grab my bookmark again. I'm going to put it right there so I know the steps I need to do, and I think I'm ready to start. My first step is to divide. But right away, I notice a problem here. 3 doesn't go into 2. Now, some people like to put a 0 up here. Some people like to put an X. I'm going to put a 0 because 3 isn't going into 2. I want to look to the next digit. I'm going to look to the right. 3 does go into 29. So that's where I'm going to start with my division. What is 29 divided by 3? It's 9. 3 goes into 29 9 times. My next step here is to multiply. So I'm going to do 9 times 3, which is 27. What's my next step? I should subtract. 29 minus 27 is 2. I'm back to that check step. I don't need to write anything. I just need to look. 2 is less than the divisor. 2 is less than 3, so I know I haven't made any mistakes. My next step says to bring down. What digit am I bringing down? That's right. I'm bringing down the 6 with a nice straight arrow. And now I can do it again. I can go back to that divide step. What am I dividing? 26 divided by 3. It doesn't go in perfectly, but I do know how many times it goes in. 3 goes into 26 8 times. Next step, multiply. 3 times 8 is 24. I'm all set up to subtract. That looks great. 26 minus 24 is just 2. We're at that check step again. 2 is less than 3, so I'm okay to go to the next step, which is to bring down. I'm going to bring down this 1, nice and straight, nice notebook. Now I'm going to divide. I'm ready to do it all again. So 3 goes into 21. It goes in perfectly. How many times? It goes in 7 times. Multiply. 3 times 7 is 21. That becomes a very easy subtraction problem. If I'm left with nothing, I don't really have to worry too much about checking it because 0 is less than any number. 0 is definitely less than that 3. I don't have anything left to bring down. So instead of do it again, what could we say? We're done. I'm going to go back to my worksheet. My estimate over here was 1,000. The answer in my notebook is 987. I definitely feel confident in my answer. All right, at this point, if you have not finished solving the rest of the problems, I would like you to go ahead and do that in your notebook. The rest of this Edpuzzle is just going to be going through the estimates and going through the answers, so you'll need that work done ahead of time. Okay, here we go. Let's start with an estimate here for this problem, 636 divided by 4. The estimate here says 600 divided by 5. What did you write in that space? This is a tricky one. I'm going to look at the 60 divided by 5, which is 12, and then I have one more 0 there, so that estimate should have been 120. What did you get for your actual answer for 636 divided by 4? Hopefully you found that answer to be 159. The work should be in your notebook. The answers are on the worksheet. We'll do this a lot in class. All right, for the next one, 985 divided by 5. This estimate here, 1,000 divided by 5. What did you get? Hopefully you came up with 200. And what did you get for an actual answer? What is 985 divided by 5? The answer here should be 197. Okay, let's go to the bottom of this worksheet. We've got just a couple left. This estimate is the same as the one we just did, so hopefully that was a quick one for you. 1,000 divided by 5 is still 200. What did you get for your actual answer? What is 1,014 divided by 6? Your answer should be 169. That brings us to the last problem. Let's check in on this estimate. 2,800 divided by 7. What do you get for your estimate? You should have written 400. And now let's talk about the actual answer. What do you get for 2,863 divided by 7? There is a 0 in there. You should have 409. Okay, so hopefully your math notebook is full of work. Hopefully your worksheet has answers and estimates on it. Hopefully you enjoyed this Edpuzzle, and hopefully you're not too confused by long division. We're going to be practicing much, much more in class and at home on these steps. Make sure you don't lose that worksheet, and definitely make sure you don't lose your bookmark. Thanks for joining.